What's up, good people? Jeff C. here with some very important information. We had the big show yesterday here in Rainbow Unicorn Land in Nova Scotia, the biggest mass shooting in Canadian history. They don't even know how many, whatever number they're going to settle on, right? But they showed this image over and over again, and what they were saying is the guy who specialized in making smiles. So if you saw my video last night dealing with the smiles, because the smile sort of theme has been used heavily with COVID-19. There's a smile COVID-19 website here in Rainbow Unicorn Land dealing all with COVID-19. Just the other day, and I showed this where on the live stream, this was like Saturday night, where they were doing the Together at Home from the Global Citizen, and they had what's her name there, Lady Gaga, and she sang the song Smiles. All right, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff to go with it. So showing the denturist, and they're talking about how he specializes in making people smile. That's what I was showing in the music vid last night. This was allegedly the car that this character was driving, and what they say about him is that one of his hobbies was to collect old RCMP cars and fix them up, sort of thing. So they showed this, and they're like, "What is this code? What is this? What did he put? Why did he put this 28B11 on the back?" So I was researching it late last night, and I came up with something. So it's on my Patreon here. You see, this is my Patreon here, Jeff Censored, and come and check it out if you haven't already, because there's some phenomenal work being done with people here. So this is what I found last night, this recombinant mouse anti-IL-17F antibody, which goes by the code of the exact same, the 28B11, right? That's what I found. And this is a mouse antibody targeting human IL-117F. So it's an antibody here that they're developing. And I was saying, hey, it appears that there's something connected with this, as you see here with the corporation here, Creative Biolabs here, and they're developing antibodies for COVID-19. So this looks like it's one of the antibodies that they're developing for COVID-19. So I put this out last night, late last night or early this morning on my Patreon, and one of my intrepid listeners here, Teresa, gave me a link. Now I want to show you this link here. This is Israeli News Live, and they are doing some excellent work. I believe they're Christians, but they do some excellent work on this whole what's going on. And what Israeli News Live has been saying is that this is the big thing. This is their end game sort of thing. This is the real deal, what they're doing. And they've been very, very troubled by what is occurring globally with this whole thing. That this is actually a massive plot, and that they're going to, bring in a police state, monitor everyone, force vaccinations, and then it's what's in the vaccinations. So they have this this lady on here, and this is from April the 13th, so it's from about a week ago. Okay? So I want you to listen to what she says. This is just mind-blowing.
10 days ago, some articles that said, well, since we have the blood anyway, we're searching ancestries. So we're going into your blood work, and we are extracting all the information about your whole family tree and putting it in these big, giant supercomputers.
Okay, that's very important. Very, 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 very important. This is what we speculated all along with the DNA collection. Anne Wojcicki, the sister of Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of 23andMe, Ancestry.com, National Queer Graphic, and so many others have been trying to collect everyone's DNA. And this is why they're doing it, because they're using AI, they're making these massive databases, and they're finding out everything that makes you tick and what will likely kill you, sort of thing. So we'll continue.
For the good, benevolent purposes of, let's say, non-communicable disease. Like, does your family family have an incidence for heart attack or obesity or diabetes, and then they'll have the cure. So that's number one. Number two are the vaccinations. And there are 48 different vaccinations being developed right now. And they are comprised of three fundamental things that every Christian should know about, because they are not going to be telling you this when you get the vaccination. They come from aborted babies. So that's number one. It's fetal tissue, fetal stem cells.
Think about that. Let that digest for a second, and then think about who's behind Planned Parenthood. Think about Bill Gates' father being the head of Planned Parenthood. They're using aborted fetuses to come up with their vaccines. Now, listen in.
The second part is humanized mice. What is a humanized mouse? A humanized mouse has human blood, human organs, a human immune system, but it's like a human in a mouse suit. And so they're going to take that. That's the second component of these vaccinations. The third is just about as alarming Christians should know about, because a humanized mouse has human blood, human organs, a human immune system, but it's like a human in a mouse suit. And so they're going to take that. That's the second component of these vaccinations. Fetal stem cells. The second part is humanized mice. What is a humanized mouse?
Humanized mice. Recombinant mouse anti-IL-17F antibody. Antibodies for COVID-19. I probably don't have to tell you that the whole world is a stage, but they are rubbing this stuff in our faces. They're coding everything right for us.
A humanized mouse has human blood, human organs, a human immune system, but it's like a human in a mouse suit. And so they're going to take that. That's the second component of these vaccinations. The third is just about as alarming. They take human proteins and they inject into plants human DNA and human proteins into the plant's vascular system. So they're going to take this wicked abomination, conglomeration of fetal aborted babies, humanized mice, and also these humanized plants, and they say it's going to protect you against coronavirus. You know, we don't even know coronavirus. This novel one has many faces. That's very unlikely.
Wow. It's just nuts. So what can we do? Try to get the word out, obviously. They were even saying this. And I have the links here. I put the link for this particular one here, the creative, but there's several different biolabs that are developing this antibody. But we pretty much cracked the code here. Now, you can believe what you want to believe about what you see on the television. I believe nothing that they put on the television. The April the 19th has been a date where a lot of bloody things happen. I'm sure probably you already know that, but if you don't, there's a lot of history of really bloody events happening on April the 19th. But I think that we have something very serious here happening. I think that they are coding their solutions that are coming for us in their theatrics. I need help doing this. That's why I put that out last night on my Patreon, right? Because I can't just do it all alone. There's so many things I don't know, I miss. And that's why it's awesome that people come in and, to help me out with this. It's like taking the ball down the field, like a football team or something, hand it off to somebody else, go for a long throw, things like that. So anyways, if you can, come and support me, come and sign up for my Patreon if you're not already, and help me do this work. Just get this information out. What else do you know about this? Like, I'm not a chemist or a biologist or anything like this, so I would need lots of help understanding exactly what these things are all about. But, I mean, it seems clear that it's the solutions that we should all be most concerned about with what's happening, and that we need to contact as many people as possible and try to get information across. We'll just take a look quickly here for the Nova Scotia here in the news. And I'll just put Nova Scotia shooting just to get the latest of what they're saying. 18 dead, it looks like. 19 dead now, they're saying. Grope and fail. Maybe it'll end at 33. Who knows, right? Our hearts are broken. Oh, I'm going to show you something else I discovered. This is just crazy. Okay. So they want me to do this, but I'll put in this name here. Okay. So you see Jenny Kierstad and her sister said her sister Lisa McCauley was one of the victims. Okay? You got that, right? You see it? Now check this out. We'll open up YouTube here. There's Jenny Kierstad, and here she is. TEDx speech. So the first person that they bring forth, all in red, on the red circle, of course, as they do it. She's dressed all in red, and she is a girl on fire. Your Phoenix sort of New World Order symbolism. And, of course, they've got the whole theatrics here.
A bus at Acadia to come home for Christmas one year. As I dropped my backpack and settled into my seat, I noticed a 90-year-old woman shuffle on the bus behind me. I remember looking at her.
So just to show you, this woman is all over this shooting. I'll just show you in the news here. See? Jenny Kierstad. It's always the same. I covered the Moncton shooting, which was 6 years ago, almost to the date. And they keep referencing it. 6 years ago, Moncton. And boy, oh boy, you wouldn't believe the stuff I pulled up on that one. There is so much funny business, and what we're seeing is a complete police state. So I tried to show that last night, where, places like Nova Scotia, if you've never been to Nova Scotia, Eastern Canada, nobody shoots. I mean, there's occasional, gang sort of killing or domestic dispute, but murder rates are so low that most people just don't even lock their doors and stuff like that, right? And I showed back with Moncton, years back, how they turned it into a police state, just like Boston. When they had the Boston bombing, they had 350 armored trucks, armored police vehicles, and the police, of course, look like the military now. And they dress up in camouflage in cities because, of course, civilians might be able to spot them, so they need to blend in with I'm being silly. But the exact same thing has happened here with the Nova Scotia shooting, where, you can see the images here, and it's all police state. And this is all you see. You don't see anything else. I mean, you'll probably see some body bags and stuff like that, but this is mostly what you're going to see all over. They'll show you this, burning cars and stuff like that, when we were covering the whole the fracking protests that were happening in New Brunswick way back, I think it was 2014, and I was covering that with Occupy Toronto, and they were live on the scene, one of the native reservations, broadcasting. We did a podcast live, and what they were saying is that the native people were saying that, like, they were showing RCMP cars that were being lit on fire, and they were saying that the natives were doing this to stop the fracking, right? But what we had discovered when we were doing our show way back when was that the cars that they were burning, the RCMP cars that they were burning, were actually older models. Decommissioned, most definitely. And that what the Aboriginals, the native people, were saying was that the RCMP was setting them on fire themselves. This is the Heidi Stevenson. They're using this image of this sort of idyllic RCMP officer, and they have her photographed with a bunch of children, right, to pull on the heartstrings. This is the sister of the TEDx girl there, and then the body bags sort of thing, and the police state, and then of course the 28B11, which is of course here, the antibodies being developed for COVID-19. Whew. Stay safe, people. Understand this, I would never hurt anyone. I'd never kill myself in a million years, and I would never hurt anyone unless my life was being threatened and I had to defend myself. But we're watching the whole police state and this New World Order and forced vaccinations and this massive depopulation. It's a very scary time that we're in. So we need to watch each other's backs, and we need to stay strong and stay vigilant and ever watchful about what's going on. But big shout out to Israeli News Live. You guys doing terrific work on this. And this lady, I don't know who she is. I don't think it says here. Celestia. So Celestia, she's worked 20 years. I guess maybe she's trying to keep a little bit of a low profile, but great job there. Thank you to Teresa for pointing this out to me. Man, wow, this is the craziest of all the things I've seen. And this also with this Nova Scotia shooting, I'll just put this in right now since I'm here, and I know probably people want me to do a live show. Gun control. Let's just see if that is, look at this. Trudeau promises gun control legislation. And they carry these things out. They had one here in Montreal, which is Marc Lepin, and they call Polytechnique. They carry these things out over and over again to get their way. This is astonishing. We are witnessing absolute tyranny. Look at all the stories dealing with the gun control. It's just nuts. Anyways, I'm working nonstop sort of thing. I wanted to get this video up quick. Share this information, try to get it out. Come and support me if you can on Patreon. And, do the best that you can do. Speak out. Try to wake up as many people as possible. And we need to have all hands on deck sort of thing. Everybody needs to help out whatever way they can, even if it just means leaving comments on YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's going to be too late soon to be able to speak out. So you might as well speak out now. And you might as well do the best that you can to try to stand up for your rights while you still got a chance. Much love. God bless. I shall see you all on the next one. Take it easy, folks. Thanks.